Slow reel, tap. Oh, there's a bite. There's one right there. First cast. Hey, what's going on, folks? Good morning. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a teaching video. I feel like I've caught enough fish with finesse style plastics and different techniques like that that I know enough now to be able to teach some of you guys stuff. I always show you where to go fish and everything like that, but I haven't really showed you how to fish, which a lot of you probably know how. Maybe you might pick up a little something different. All this has been mostly just learning by doing, and that's probably what it's going to take for you to get it down as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing. We're almost, I say almost, but we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much for all your support, guys, and let's get with it. All right, so we're going to start off with a jig. Now, this specific jig is one that I got from a mystery tackle box. I don't know what kind of jig. I don't know what kind of jig it is, but you can see it's got that like little football head right there. It's got one little steel cable weedless thing, and it's got a little smaller hook on it. Normally what I do is I grab some sort of a trailer, probably a craw, one without a broken fin most of the time, but I'll grab a craw like this, and that's pretty much it. The rod and reel doesn't really matter too much, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people tell you it will, but I don't really think it does. But essentially, there's three types of ways I like to retrieve this guy. Number one being the slow up and reel back down. Slow up, reel back down. And then occasionally I'll tap, 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 reel back down. And then another way I like to do this is just to slowly reel it the whole entire time and just kind of tap, tap, tap. You know what I'm saying? That's the most successful way with a jig, is the constant reeling. And we'll see how long it takes us to catch one on this, and you can kind of pay attention to what different method I'm using and all that stuff. Let's see here. Just that slow reel, tap. Slow reel, tap. Oh, there's a bite. There's one right there. First cast. First cast. What?
I normally catch a fish almost instantly, but no.
Not today? All right, there we go. First cast. You guys seen it right here. That is how you fish a little jig. Now, obviously, there's a ton of different kinds of jigs, and, you know, I just prefer, like I said, this one came from a mystery tackle box, so it's just kind of random, but I definitely prefer the weed guard. So if you pick out any jig whatsoever, make sure it's got a weed guard. Over here on this one, I've got actually like a swim bait trailer. I haven't caught anything with this one yet, but this is a 3-aught, like, jig head thing. I don't even know where the heck I got this from. We're gonna throw this out there a couple times, see if I can catch one on this. Color wise, I almost always have been going with green pumpkin or black and blue, which is something that you'll hear normally from most people. But you know, I've also caught a lot of things on red and a lot of things on yellow and green and orange and white. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, color matters, but not really. Holy crap, I thought I might have just had a fish. Feels a little different on this spinning rod. I haven't really fished this spinning rod. See what I mean, though? Just reel it and tap. Reel it and tap. Plus, I don't know if these guys here will eat white. That's another thing, too, man, is a lot of it's experimenting. Like, you can start with green pumpkin, like red flake, green pumpkin, red flake. That's probably one of your best colors to start with. See, we're just reeling slowly, tapping, tapping. Just kind of give it some sort of sporadic motion. I mean, maybe you can even tap more. I can tell you one thing's for sure, I've gotten so used to that bait caster rod that I Yeah. So used to that thing that fishing with this now feels really weird. All right, the next thing is your weightless Texas rig. Now, I've caught a bunch of fish on like a crawl presentation like this. This is also weightless. You can get, I suggest, a 1/8 ounce or 1/4 ounce weight, cone weight, to go on top of this. This is a 3/0 EWG offset hook. These are pretty popular standard hooks that you can find at the, your local tackle shop. And then get like a 1/8 ounce or 1/4 ounce cone weight. The weight doesn't really matter. It's just kind of whatever feels better for you for casting distance and things like that. But this guy here, essentially, you poke in the bottom just about that much. You flip it around, roll it all the way up onto that offset like that. And then you set it about right here to get your measurement of where you need that thing to be at. Kind of mark it with your nail or something like that. Stab it through, and there you go. You can text pose it and stab the hook into here if you really want to. I never do that. And why I grabbed this Cinco here and this curly tail worm. This curly tail worm here has caught me just a ton of fish. A little red curly tail worm from Bass Pro Shop, rigged up this exact same way. Now normally I do it with a weight, but I wanted to show you guys that you can also do it weightless. Now the biggest thing with this is my most successful thing that I've done to catch fish with this thing is you cast it and you literally let it sit for 15 seconds. And I'm not even kidding you. We'll cast this thing out there and you just let it sit, dude. Like, just be patient. And if you don't get a hit, which you almost normally will, but with this being weightless, the wind is kind of being a pain. So I just kind of slowly pull it back a little bit, reel down, slowly pull it back, reel down. I can tell you right now that my personal preference is with a weight. Okay? That's just the way that I prefer to do it, especially with this wind. I mean, there's not even that much wind, dude. All right, we're just gonna leave it alone. But you can see even the slightest breeze is taking this braided line and just messing it all up. It's gonna make it really hard for us to feel bites. We wanna keep as much tension as actually possible on that lure that we can. Same thing, dude. This is all I do is just drag this thing on the ground. I might go ahead and put a weight on it so I can better show you guys what I'm talking about here. You should get the gist, but this thing tends to kind of float on top of the water if you pull it too fast. You got to be extremely patient with a weightless. But weightless, in my opinion, is really good whenever there's absolutely no wind at all. Because right now I can't feel, the line is so loose that I can't feel anything at all happening on the other end of this thing. So I'm gonna put a weight on here real quick. Okay, so this is an 1/8 ounce weight here. I'm just gonna slide this guy onto there. Rowan's catching fish on the other side of this tunnel. And then I'm going to feed that guy through once and back through because I want to do a Palomar knot. Palmar knot, however the hell you say it, I don't know. But essentially, you just grab both sides like this. How I do it is I just get them tight, twist it, pull that through, and then take that and wrap it all the way around, which this is not a knot tying tutorial video, so I would suggest go looking that up. I'd get that wet, slobber on it. There we go. Now we got our weight on there. Cut off the tag end. All right, now we got our weight on there. All right, now this should work a whole lot better for this current situation. We're gonna be able to cast farther with it. We're gonna be able to feel that anything at all touch it, because our line's going to be nice and tight. So we're going to cast that right there. And this type of thing, I am at a neighborhood pond, but this type of thing works everywhere. I've caught fish with it absolutely everywhere. So don't get discouraged just because I'm at like a neighborhood pond. I'm telling you guys, as slow as you possibly can, pull up on this thing, reel down, as slow as humanly possible, dude. I'm telling you. You can see that my rod's barely moving. You can feel everything on the bottom. You can feel the sticks. You can feel the rocks. And what you can definitely feel is the bite. This really gets you familiar with how to tell what's on the bottom of the water. Maybe where there's like some extra sticks or twigs that fish might be hanging out on. All right, we're just gonna let it set, dude, because these fish like to hide up underneath this stuff on the water here. We might have some junk on there though. That's another thing, is if you get any sort of grass or moss on this Texas rig style thing, you're not going to catch a fish with a whole bunch of junk on there. All right, same thing here, straight through the tip, and pull it all the way around up to the offset, flip it around, spin the wind, mark where we want our hook to be at, stab it in there. Make sure she's nice and straight like that. We get the weight on. There we go. We'll give it another try with this guy instead. Oop, that was kind of a bad cast, but we'll let it ride. You just want to be able to feel everything on the bottom, man. That's really all it comes down to. And don't be afraid to fish like this, because it's actually, especially in pressured ponds, man, this is how I catch fish every single day. I was very afraid to learn to fish like this. I was very much crank baits and spinner baits, and there's a bite right there. He might have it. He does have it. Nope. Ooh, almost fell. I'm kind of just standing on a rock. Oh, there's another bite. See, just switching up the color, the presentation a little bit will get those bass biting something they've probably never seen before. Also, another thing is, even though this lure is like 2 feet in front of me, don't get all crazy impatient and just reel it in real quick. It's really easy to do that sometimes. But I'll tell you, half of my bites come from like literally right on the bank, where they were just following it the whole time. All right, we're gonna keep doing the drag. Slowly drag and reel down, slowly drag. I believe the next thing we're gonna try, once we catch a fish with this Texas rig, the next thing we're gonna try, oh, there's a bite right there. Take it. Dude, he's not gonna take it. But see, you can feel it, dude. Like, you literally know. There's not a doubt in your mind when you can tell a difference between a stick, a rock, and a bite. Because that bite, dude, like the sticks and rocks, you'll feel like kind of a thud when you drag it, but you'll feel that bass go da 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 da, and it'll stop and it'll da 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 da. You really have to let them get a hold of it. You can't yank it as soon as you get a bite. Sometimes that'll work, but you kind of have to pay attention to where your line is entering the water. There's a fish right there. Oh man, come on. Wait, no, okay. Now you got to pay attention where your line's entering the water, and your line will tighten up to where he's biting at. You'll see the penetration point of your line in the water zip up, and then you'll see it start drifting off to the side, and that's when you can really... Oh, I think I just hooked a stick or something. If you cast in a bad spot and you're just like, yeah, 100%, that's just a bad spot, just reel it in. You know what I mean? Reel it in, try again. That's what I always say, I guess. We are getting bit though. Right up side of that bank, man. That's where I normally fish at. There's a lot of times where you'll catch them 5, 10, 15 foot off the bank. But I swear, almost every time I catch a fish, it's casting along a bank like this because they like to hide in that shade. Today's a nice overcast day, so it's not like as crazy, but on those really hot days in the early mornings, man, they just love being right up on the bank. Yeah, the next thing we're going to try after we catch a fish with this is a Ned Rig, so I'm going to keep casting here. We got lucky on our first cast with the jig. The jig is definitely becoming my new go-to favorite way to fish, but I'm still kind of new to it-ish, and it's just because you get the addition of a new retrieval. Oh, there's a bite right there. Oh man, it's like he's too big or too small. Or maybe they're biting onto the tail of this curly tail worm. That's probably what's going on here, man. They're biting onto the tail. The bass in this pond aren't very big. They're fun, but they're not very big. One thing I forgot to mention too is you will catch carp and catfish with this setup. I'm not kidding you, especially if you're dragging it real slow on the ground. So you just have to be ready for that fight because it's pretty fun, actually. I caught a carp and I think 4 catfish with a Texas rig in the last month or so. It's very possible. All right, we'll give this one more try. And if we don't get one this time, then we'll switch to the Ned Rig and we'll catch all these little guys that are being mean. All right, so this right here is what we're going to call a Ned head. Essentially, it's a weighted head hook. This is a 2-aught, maybe, possibly. You can pick these up at Ziners for like 10 of them for like $5 or something like that. Locally here in Wichita, if you're in Wichita area. What I really like is these guys right here. These are the Z-Man Ned Rig worms, but all of mine are, you know, they've caught a million fish at this point. So what I do have, and what we're going to try here, is I got this little 3-inch Yamamoto. We're going to try that. See if we can catch anything with this. Now with this, I just feed it onto the worm, just like that. And then what's going to happen is every time you twitch it, it bounces up and lands back on the ground. Bounces up, lands back on the ground, bounces up. So it's always like landing at attention. Now, me personally, I don't know what the whole point of this offset is on these. Maybe you could rig it up like, you know, instead of all the way on the hook like that, you could do it kind of like a Texas rig, I guess. Get it up there, spin it around. That might actually even be better. Set it up just like that. You know, do the Texas rig style. So we're gonna see if we can catch one with this. Should be able to. A little smaller thing for them to have to eat. Now with this guy, like I said, we're gonna let it sit. But oh, we already got a fish. Come on, buddy. He tried. He tried right off the bat. Didn't have enough suck power to get it up off the ground. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna leave it there. 10 seconds or so. Slowly start to drag it up, or drag it up like a psycho like I just did for some reason. I'm telling you, man, that first initial, when it hits the water, you gotta just let it sink and let it sit, dude. I've caught so many fish as soon as it's hit the water. It's definitely the best way to do it. All right, I just put the little jig back on. We're just gonna see how much fish we can catch with this little thing for the remainder of my battery power for today. There we go. Underneath the weeping willow. Dang, bro, choked it. Don't be farting on me. Ew. Ew. Hey, can I have that back? Oh, okay. Ew, dude, I've never smelled bass poop before. That's pretty gross smelling. He straight up pooped in my hand, dude. Gross. Oh, there we go. There's another one. The jig is the way today. Dang, my man really got in there. There you go. Another little guy. There we go. Got another one. Biggest one of the day. Bro, let go. Back up, Rowan. There we go. Not a very big one, but still the biggest one. I'm not having any problem at all with hooking up on these guys with this like super small hook. Kind of surprised, and this craw is hanging on for dear life. I mean, he's only got one claw. Little guy, man, he took it as soon as it hit the water. All right, just realized I wasn't recording, even though I pressed the record button. We got another one. I definitely did not think I was going to catch another fish today. Oh, okay. Well, get out there, buddy. You can do it. Keep going. Keep going. Bruh. Right where I can't freaking reach you. There you go. All right. Started to head back. Wasn't really sure if I was going to catch another fish or not. But we got one. Oh, hello, garter snake. Garter snake right here. Looks like a garter snake. There we go. Little guy. Say little guy, it's like the same size fish we've caught the whole time today. Don't really know why that is. Caught bigger ones out here. All right, my dudes, hopefully y'all got some value from this video and maybe you learned a thing or two. It ended up getting so hot out right now. Like it's probably not even 10 o'clock, dude. This heat is just insane. We got rain the next couple days. Hopefully that'll cool it down, but hopefully you guys learned something. Maybe you didn't, and that's okay too. You know, it's not for everybody, but I figured I'd try and do my best to help out where I could. But we're gonna head out. Rowan's birthday's coming up soon. We just got paid. Look at this thing that he made out of sticks. That's pretty cool.
Exactly make the whole
But we just got paid, so we are gonna go to Ziner's and get him a new fishing pole, a nice fishing pole and not a crappy fishing pole.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll let you know what we get. Maybe Maybe we'll just add it on to the end of this video. We'll see. Either way, peace.